Okay, this is your opening bell for this Wednesday, the second day of the month of March. I am boosting number five. Welcome to the show. Look at the Tuesday's market. The global markets sneezed significantly on Tuesday, and then starting on Monday again. We're now into day 7 of the Russian invasion military actions against the Ukraine, moving towards Kiev, which is the Ukrainian capital. Quite a whole lot to digest. But African markets, equities begin to sidestep some of these. A number of local investors are playing into the local bourse. That's the part of the story from Nigeria. About 20 basis points uptick yesterday on the back of some of the big earnings coming through. The shares of MTN, the largest telco, went up 1%. Seplat Energy, the news came in very strongly. Its earnings grew. Earnings per share came. Dividend also very sweet. With his outlook on the $1.28 billion deal with ExxonMobil, it's a very good time. The production numbers also from Seplat Energies also came very strong. We'll get more about Nigerian earnings later. The BRVM, however, bucked that 38 basis points down here in West Africa. The Egyptian market roared 1.23% on Tuesday, a very strong finishing line, while the Nairobi bourse was 17 basis points better, just around the same track level as Nigeria, with 1.34%, a very big jump to 77,000. That's what the GSE printed yesterday, the biggest exchange on the African continent. So put that on your side as we look at today's trading day. What's in the news, by the way? What's making the headlines? Let's get into the East African corridor, where Kenya's CPI, which is inflation, fell slightly to a 17-month low at 5.07%. That was the data that came in on Monday to start the week and put February behind you. A bit of economic data. Branch International says it's bought 84.89% stake of Century Microfinance Bank in Kenya. That is a big line, giving the lease of life into the Century Microfinance Bank. The Safaricom is tapping VMware to build a greenfield network in Ethiopia. You remember Safaricom and the rest of its consortium. That consortium were able to buy new operating license in Ethiopia, Africa's second largest economy by population, country by population. That was sometime last year for about 800 million US dollars. Tanzania is to sell about 114.37 billion shillings of a 7.82% 2023 bonds today, March the 2nd. We'll get the result for you but before the end of the week. And Uganda's consumer prices, which is also a bit of an inflation of CPI, rose 3.2% in February, while in Central Africa, where DRC is, Kamoa Copper Plant is looking to produce about 9.2 million tons every year from that particular location. In West Africa, where Nigeria stock market and equities market dominate, the Lafarge Africa and Dangote Cement, two of the largest cement companies, announces their earnings on Monday and Tuesday. Dangote Cement reporting earnings revenue of about 1.3 trillion naira, the strongest ever, with the Nigerian market still contributing significantly to the cement makers' top line and bottom line. Profit after tax came in about 30%. Group EBITDA 43.5%. Very strong news. Earnings are very strong. Then, of course, dividend that Dangote Cement will pay. Lafarge is doing similar things. Very sweet numbers from the cement makers. As we say, the government spending more rapidly into infrastructure, road, rail, bridges, and others across the country. Full year 2021 net sales by Lafarge Africa, 27.1%. Lafarge is the Africa's front for the wholesale of Lafarge, which is from in France, by the way. Recurring EBITDA, 42.6%. Net income, 65.1%. Net operating cash for Lafarge, nearly 20 billion in Nigerian currency. In the meantime, Nigeria's petrol product scarcity is continuing. Cities such as Lagos, Abuja, Kano, Port Harcourt are grinding to the halt as we speak. So Adova, which is one of the big cap listed oil retailer, yesterday reported a loss of 126 kobo earnings per share for last year. Operating expenses went up as well as finance costs. Q4 numbers were not as good as it were for Adova PLC. We'll look to see what the rest of his peers within that space will report for the full year and Q4 2021. In the meantime, the Govix obtains a license in Guinea, also in Niger Republic, northern northern country to Nigeria. Nigeria's north for a large-scale uranium mining, while the CEMAC, which is in Central African Republic, is looking to about 94 billion CFA from budget to boost sub-regional integration. Just as we have within the UEMOA in West Africa, the CEMAC region, Cameroon, DRC, and others are also moving strongly into what you call inter-regional cooperation. Step with me into Southern Africa, where the crypto exchange Valor is raising about 750 million rand, a little bit above that, for East Africa and global expansion. That's the news overnight. Glencore, which is the world's largest commodity trading company, is looking very closely into its books and how it's going to looking to review its business ties with Russia. Glencore had some direct and indirect transaction deal with Russia, and Glencore is joining other organizations or companies such as the BP, the Royal Dutch Shell, and TotalEnergies to cut ties with Russia because of that aggressive invasion of the Ukraine. South Africans will may have to pay higher petrol prices, about 22 rand per litre from the month of April. That is likely coming. Oil prices at the highest elevated levels of 2013-2014. We saw the US WTI at $110 per barrel, and London Brent crude about $116 a barrel. Today is the very crucial meeting of OPEC and its alliance, Russia, to decide on outlook and its output for the month of April. Overnight, news came in that the International Energy Agency, the IEA, is looking to release some of its strategic reserves into the market to tame rising oil prices because of its consequent effect on petrol, diesel, and other products across and the pump around the world. It's not so good. So IEA is looking into that. We'll see how all of this come together today from OPEC Plus and the IEA, how we move forward and try to contain the runaway rally in crude oil prices. In the meantime, Botswana's FAR Property is reporting 6% uptick in its first half 2021 profit, about 50 million Botswana pure. And Ukraine crisis will be good news for Angola, according to some experts. Growth is forecast at between 3 to 4%. Okay, let's add the North African news into the mix because Egypt, the RMB, which is a Rand Nation Bank, is helping Afreximbank to raise about $1.2 billion to refinance its existing facilities. Afreximbank is at the forefront of trade finance. It's also dipping its fingers into the support for the COVAX arrangement, getting vaccines across to African states under that arrangement, in which Afreximbank is right at the forefront of supporting African states. So RMB is helping fresh financing window, $1.2 billion Afreximbank based in Cairo is looking at. Egypt's first half year 2021-2022 budget deficit was roughly about 4.7% of the GDP. That figure came at about 336 billion Egyptian pounds, by the way. And British Chariot says it's buying new offshore exploration license in Morocco. That's part of the hydrocarbon industry in this North African economy, while TotalEnergies of Maroc says its revenue went up 46% last year. That's about 12.87 billion dirhams. That's the Moroccan local currency. And that's about it for today, everyone. Thanks very much for enjoying the show. And this is your project Open Bell. I am Bosun Omofoye, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.